Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Clint Crowe Real Estate Show. I am pleased to be joined today by none other than Miss Megan Cox, also known as Move with Megan. Megan, thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I know we've been talking about trying to get in here and do this for a while, and we finally got moved into the new building.
Yes.
We've been using the little studio part of it here for a while, doing these episodes, but the rest of the building, the build out was getting done for all of our offices and stuff, and so got moved in, and I think it turned out pretty good. What do you think?
The best. I love it here.
Yeah.
I do have the best office.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It is the best.
Yeah, it's. I think yours is the first one decorated too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
First one fully decorated and kind of.
I'm ready to go.
Up. Yeah. If you had a person help you with the decorating, and I may or may not have volunteered that person yesterday to help me.
She is great, and Tiffany did come. I have to give her credit for that. She did do everything, so I just sat there.
It looks great. That's what
she did a great job.
If anything's going to happen with mine, it's somebody else is going to have to do it, because I've got enough to get my computer set up where I can turn it on and I can work at my desk, and any other decorative things that are going to happen is probably going to have to be somebody else. So
I sat on the floor with my laptop while she set everything up, and I am very, very grateful.
Well, it looks fantastic, and I'm really excited. And I know you've mentioned being excited about being in the building. I think it's really come together well. Casey and Kayla.
They've done a great job.
Kayla really helped out with Casey with some of the decorative stuff and everything. Everybody's chipped in together. I mean, everybody in the company really worked together to get everything moved in. But Kayla and Casey with the decorations and the design and some of the areas we've got for folks to hang out.
So cute.
The coffee bar area and the lounge, agent lounge area, and
the green couch.
The green couch is very comfortable. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about,
you need to come visit.
Visit, check out the green couch. It doesn't look comfortable at all, but when you sit on it, you never want to get up.
The best.
It is the best couch. That's my spot. I thought about doing another little sort of extra kind of behind the scenes or weekend type podcast, doing conversations on the couch with Clint. Just
That's cute.
Sit on the couch and with the tables there, and just have a little. A little less formal, maybe a little less business. Just talk about whatever random stuff, which is kind of what we do here anyway. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I'm excited, and I appreciate all your help with everything and getting.
I love to be here.
And it's turned out good. So let's talk about business a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've been here 5 years. You just had your 5-year anniversary a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
It seems like you've been with us forever.
I feel that way.
But at the same time, it's so hard to believe it's been 5 years already. It's flown by, and I guess they say when you that time flies when you're having fun.
That is true.
That means
or when you're going crazy.
Well, could be that.
But I am having fun, going crazy.
I think we have a good time here.
Oh, a very good time.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, we take what we do very seriously, but we don't take ourselves very seriously.
Right.
I think that having a fun environment, it leads to a better work environment, and I think it helps people be more productive if you're enjoying where you're at and you're having a good time, and you look forward to going there, and it's a place where you get work done, and you feel like you're at work and you're in an environment where real estate things are happening. I think that having an enjoyment while you're there, something that enjoying the people you're with and having a good time while you're there, it makes you want to show up more. I
agree. It feels like family here. Like you feel like you're at home, but you get work done. And I mean, we definitely spend a lot of time talking and playing around, but we do get a lot of work done. So
we do get a lot of work done, and we do have a good time. And that's really the idea. That's why I'm so excited about the lounge areas and stuff like that. They're not traditional workspaces. They're sort of like a workspace you might have at your house, sitting at your kitchen counter for the coffee bar area, or sitting in your living room at the lounge area. But they're not there. They're here. And so you can come here and be with other people and talk about real estate and do real estate, but be in an environment that feels a little more like home.
And we're not like stuck. I like the agent lounge because we're not stuck in our office. Like some days in real estate are very, very hard. And you're having phone conversations and terminations and hard stuff. And you just kind of want to break for a minute. So you walk out there, you get a cup of coffee. Beth will have some crazy story to tell you, make you laugh. You're like, okay. And then you go back and work on the contract again.
Yeah. And that, I really think that's the benefit of being here. And one of the things that I really look forward to is having a space where we've got room for more of our people. You know,
Yes.
it was very, and there's no way we could have fit everybody into the space we were in before.
They sure did pack in my office though. When they wanted to hang out, we made it work. About 8 or 9 of us sitting on the floor.
we would make it work, but here it can be a little more comfortable to get everybody in. You know, that's part of the reason that maybe you're with a company and not in the business by yourself, because some days it is hard.
It is
a lot of days it's hard, and you need somebody to talk to, and you know, and I'll go home, and my wife is, bless her, she's always willing to listen and let me vent or talk about whatever I need to talk about. And I know Nick is the same way with you, and super supportive, but they don't really understand.
Right.
They want to understand.
Right.
But they don't understand when you start talking about some of the things that happen and the pitfalls in the business. They don't really understand the nuances of it. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's nice to be able to have a place where you can have people talk to you and they can just commiserate with you.
Yes.
They understand. They've been where you are and help you kind of get through it. And to have somebody that's gone through that before
and get advice.
Still alive, right? Like,
yes.
That's always my favorite thing. Like someone said, "Oh, well, this happened." I'm like, "But did you die?"
Right.
You know, did you die? You didn't die. It's not great. It's hard, and it's a setback sometimes. Phones going off. Imagine that real estate agent with the phone going off. Realtors with phones ringing crazy, right? But that's some of the things that happen. We have these times where, you know, things go wrong, and it's hard, and I don't want to downplay it at all, because it's very important, and it's a big deal for us, but for our clients more than that. But it's all going to be okay,
right?
And that's where the little did you die part comes from,
yes.
Right? Like, oh, this happened and this happened, but did you die? Like, you didn't die, right? We're fine.
There's always a way to fix it.
We can fix it.
It just takes a little more work.
That's exactly right, and it'll work out. It always works out.
Always
one
does.
way or the other. So I was sitting on the green couch the other day, and I think Amy Rozier and I sat there for about an hour and 10 minutes just talking.
Yeah.
We basically could have recorded a whole podcast episode while we were sitting there, and that's really kind of where the idea came from. They just had a conversation. It ranged from the business to personal stuff to, you know, hobbies. I mean, it was just a really nice time to chat and be able to enjoy that space and just, you know, hang out and build relationships. And so you and I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Sometime too. All right, getting back on topic about business a little bit.
Okay.
One of the things that I think has, and you've been doing this now, you've been here 5 years, and before you were with us, you were only in the business about a year?
Not even. I got my license on Halloween, and then I came to you in April. So just a few months. Yeah.
I didn't think it was long. I knew it hadn't been long at the previous location, but in 5 years, really more than that, because I think, you know, last year was a bit of an anomaly with the market the way it was, but before that, within the first couple 3 years, you had built a pretty good, consistent business, and that's one of the things I really want to talk about. I know you've seen the other episodes and clips from the other episodes and things, and you know, I've talked a lot about our business that my parents and I used to do, and kind of our foundation was repeat referral clients. And about the way that you build those repeat referral clients and the way you treat folks. And I think that you have epitomized that, the way you've done your business. I've been very impressed by the diligence that you put into it, the effort you put into it, and just how much you care about folks. And so
I do love my people.
So talk about that a little bit. Talk about kind of your thoughts on that. Then we'll get to the marketing side, because that's something else I think that you do extremely well. But just talk about your thoughts about clients and about the nature of the business and how you treat your clients.
So I've gotten I could talk to a wall, first of all, so I can make friends out of anywhere, but I am huge on realizing that it is their biggest transaction. Like, we bought a house before, we had a good agent, she was wonderful, but I just kept thinking, like, man, I feel like I'm asking her too many questions. I hope I don't bother her. When I got my license, I took that very serious, and I make sure I don't care what time it is. I probably should have business hours. I don't. They'll text me at 11 o'clock, hey girl, which paint color? I'm probably not going to respond till the morning because I'm asleep, but I'm going to respond. Like, I'm always there for them, and just make sure that it's a relationship too. It's not just, you're not 123 Main Street to me. You are, Megan and Nick Cox, like you're a family. And then they become part of the family, and we do client events throughout the year to make sure they know, like, I'm super grateful that they helped me in my business and I want to give back to them. So we do pictures with Santa. We did egg my yard this year, and so I went and egged yards. That was fun, except for some fire ants, but that was fun. And one wild dog.
I haven't heard that story.
Yeah, it was bad. I stepped right in an ant pile. But so we egg some yards. We do a bunch of stuff. I try to give back, and they all become friends. It is not a one and done. It's not a 30 days to close. I'm going to know about your kids. I'm going to come to your baby showers. Just went to a wedding last weekend. It's a family thing.
That I think is an incredible way to build a business, but it really needs to come naturally. And
it does.
And I've talked about this before too. The folks here, our folks, and many folks in real estate. I don't want to single. Well, that's a lie. I do want to single our folks out because our folks.
We are the best.
I mean, we're great. And by we, I mean all of them, not me. But we really care.
Yes.
About people. The people who are here and that have come here and have stayed here and are attracted here by and large really care about people and like people. And when you do that and you realize and I love what you said earlier about gratitude. Gratitude is one of my favorite words.
Yes.
I've learned from several different folks over the years and different things I've read and listened to. Several people have commented on this that it's impossible to be grateful and depressed at the same time.
That is true.
Right? It is impossible to be grateful and sad at the same time. Even when this gets hard, in 2023, 2008, 2009, 2010, I repeatedly talk about those years, and it probably drives people crazy, but those of us who lived through it, like, that's our benchmark. Like, that is if we can get through that,
right,
we can get through anything. It was hard, and it's easy to get down. It's easy to get, I've told people many times that I think being a realtor, being in this business, is as close as you could ever come to being bipolar without actually being bipolar. Because you can go from the highest highs to the lowest lows in the snap of a finger.
Yeah.
The way I've always really been able to stave those times off or recover from those times is to think about being grateful. I mean, we have got a lot to be grateful for. Even when all the stuff that with the building and all the stuff and the things that we had, the extra things we had to do that we weren't planning on,
right?
Some stuff and all that. I mean, how lucky am I to be in a position to even do this, right? And so I really appreciate that you said the word gratitude, because I think if you look at every client and you're grateful for them, even the ones who are sometimes more challenging than others.
I think I'm just lucky. I think you attract good people. And I'm probably about to get like a really wild client now. But I mean, I get some crazy ones. But I'm just super grateful for all of them. Like, they're always so fun. Even the crazy ones, they make it fun.
I don't know that you're lucky. I think you have a different perspective, so you don't see them that way.
Right.
Because you look at it as you're grateful, even if they're needing this or they're needing that or whatever the situation may be. You focus on being grateful that they're coming to you for that.
Yes.
And it makes it feel less challenging.
And I'm a yes girl, so I like to help. I'm a people pleaser. Sometimes that's a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. But I love being able to solve their problems.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever a bad thing. Sometimes it causes you to really extend yourself, and it can be exhausting sometimes. And it can get a little overwhelming sometimes. But I don't think really wanting to please people and treat people right, I don't think it's ever a bad thing. It cannot be so much of a benefit to yourself.
Right.
Kind of
I love helping people, but sometimes I will drown myself. But it's okay. That's what vacations are for.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I appreciate those. I've got one of those at home. My dad always called my wife Save the World Christy.
Yeah.
That's what she does. And I see a lot of you go so far above and beyond. It's like, wow, that's really? But
I'm happy to do it, yes.
You're happy to do it. And I know you're happy to do it because you're grateful that they've come to you.
Yes.
And that's something that I think too many of us either don't have or we forget. And so I appreciate that you keep that in the forefront of your mind. And the client events that you do,
they're so much fun.
great. They're very creative.
I try.
Which kind of leads me into the next topic. I know you and I have spent many hours talking about marketing and your love of marketing.
I love it.
If you could do anything else for a vocation, it would be strictly marketing related.
Yes.
You have some of the best marketing ideas that I've run across in the business. Thank you. It fascinates me because a lot of times they're so simple, but I didn't see anybody else think of them.
My brain just doesn't stop thinking of marketing. Like, I don't know why, but if I see something, like, that's just what I think about.
Yeah, well, it's incredibly creative, and I think that really has helped you stand out, with the Move with Megan branding. It's
becoming a household name. Someone recognized me in Publix as the Move with Megan girl.
Really?
It was, like, one of the best days of my life. I was so excited.
Did it also make you feel weird?
No, I was like, me? Yes, I am. She was like, I see you on Facebook. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was very exciting.
You're famous.
Facebook famous. So, I mean.
Yeah. Well, again, as you know, in other episodes, we've talked extensively about social media and about marketing. Nobody's going to do business with you if they don't know you exist and if they don't know you sell real estate. And so the marketing side of it, that is such a key. A lot of the things that you've done, not just marketing. I want to talk about a little bit about the marketing, and I'm not going to ask you to give away the secret ingredients or anything, although there's really
There's no secret. But.
There's no secret. I've told people before, people say, oh, well, they're going to find out, they're going to do what you do.
It'll never be the same.
The Atlanta Falcons could have the Kansas City Chiefs playbook. They're not going to be as successful with it because they don't have the players the Kansas City Chiefs have. Right. So somebody could take these ideas. The ideas aren't trade secrets. No. They're not anything that it's just taking some idea, making it a little more creative, and implementing it.
And consistency.
The creative side, just kind of give an idea, like some of the events that you do throughout the year. I know you've talked about it in your client event and stuff, but
we do
as deep as you want to. Like again, just kind of an overview, maybe a 20,000 foot view of kind of some of the things that you do to market.
So I do monthly things. It just depends on what is. I send birthday cards anytime they have a birthday, their dog's birthday, anything like that. Their dog's birthday. I don't do wedding anniversaries because you never know these days, and that might be awkward. So I don't.
You mentioned going to a client's wedding
right
this last week, and some clients you may go to 2 or 3 of their weddings.
And I mean, I love it. More business for me, but I'm just kidding. But not kidding. But I do like just silly things. Like in March, I sent out lottery tickets, and it said like, I'm so lucky to have you as a client.
Okay.
And so I do little marketing things like that. I do things if I see big events in clients' life, like I've seen some kids who have won like a championship or something. So I send them like giant cards of their picture, like of them winning. And I'm like, I'm super proud of you. So I try to just let them do little touch points throughout the year. And then I don't do a ton of events, or I didn't last year because COVID kind of stopped some stuff, but I do go into schools. Unity Grove Elementary, we do a teacher appreciation week and a full catered lunch, and not for business. Like I'm just appreciative because I used to work there and I know how hard it is. So it's just to show appreciation. Oh, I do Braves tickets. Forgot about that. Yeah, I am a Braves season ticket holder, and I give away Braves tickets to clients. Every client event, they get the chance. The Christmas event, they get first pick of the next season.
Okay.
So they have to show up to win, but they don't have to do anything but show up. And then they win. I think we give away about 10 games.
Okay.
And then I give them away for closing gifts if they would like a Braves game. I don't know. We just do a lot throughout the year.
Yeah.
Like anything I can think of. If I think of something fun for marketing, I'm going to do it.
It seems like every time I turn around, you've got some new.
Yeah. I have a problem with it, but I love it.
No, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. That's really the things that people tell you all the time. And I know that it's not just that you're creative. You actually have worked very hard at developing this.
Yes, it has taken a long time.
You're a big proponent of coaching.
Yes.
I know you have been
I'm
a coaching client
4th year.
Past. You have invested in your business and the coaching. You've really taken that to heart because I see a lot of the things that you're doing, and I think those are things that I've heard people say for years about, do this and do that. The thing with the kids, that is so important.
Yes.
Because, you may be dealing with mom or dad buying the house. The kids are going to live there too. And a lot of times the reason they're buying a particular house is
for those
kids.
Their kids. Yep.
And when you remember and care enough to include their kids and make the kids a part of it, that is so impactful.
And they love getting mail. Like, kids don't get mail. So getting mail with the picture of themselves that costs me, well, now with the cost of mail, it's a little more, but still, it's really nothing.
Yeah.
And they get so excited and they'll call and, thank you, Miss Megan. I'm like, you're so welcome. And like, they keep it.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah. That's I love kids.
I do too.
I love my kids. I love other people's kids too.
I love my kids. I'm not much of a kid fan anymore. I think I've spent enough time with kids. I like them, but I don't want to babysit them.
Yeah, you probably would.
I would.
You
I would.
I
was just about to say that. I offer all the time.
Yeah, but you're right. It's my kids at the beginning of the school year, right before school year, they get the little note card from their teacher.
Yes.
In the mail, and it is the biggest highlight for them.
They can't
Go
wait.
to the mailbox, and they got a piece of mail coming to them. So that is creative. It's impactful for the business, but it really speaks to who you are and kind of how you feel about these folks. And I think it's just incredible that you do that. The consistency part of it, along with all of this marketing that you do, in order to keep all of that together, you have to be incredibly organized.
Yes.
And you take a deep breath and kind of,
it's a lot.
It is a lot, but you are very organized. But I know you also have a marketing assistant who is pretty incredible.
If I didn't have her, I don't think I could sell real estate anymore. If she left me tomorrow, I don't know how I would do it. Like, we've been together for, I think, 3 years.
Yeah.
I am good at marketing, as in I can give you an idea, but I'm not very good at implementing the idea because I have 1,000.
Right.
So I can, in the middle of the night, talk to Tex and say, hey, I want to do an Egg My Yard event. That's how I just send her stuff. And I'll just say, I want to do an Egg My Yard event. Can you come up with something? Can you help me with that? And she can take my idea, like she can read my mind.
Yeah.
And so she puts it together. But we also use Monday.com, and it is a paid service, but it's worth it to me. And it organizes everything.
Yeah, and that's the some of the systems. And I know that you have been, as you said earlier, you're a people pleaser, you're a yes person. And I know anytime I've ever asked you to do anything, you've been willing to help me with whatever without any expectation of anything back. And I appreciate that very much about you. But I know some of the other agents around here have brought on some marketing assistants and different things. And you've actually gone so far as to kind of help them set up and get their marketing assistant set up.
I've trained
with
3.
a lot of your systems, right? And that's, I know it's been impactful for them.
Yeah,
and I know they've been super appreciative. And I've noticed a difference in their
marketing.
And their marketing because of that. But it is very systematized. And so you've got that now where you can replicate that.
Yes.
Pretty easily because you've got it kind of down to a science and you've done it a couple of 3 times now. Talk about some of the systems, if you don't mind.
That I use?
That you use.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, nothing, again, not everything, but I know you use Monday.com.
Monday.com's our organizer. So it organizes everything we've ever done, every transaction I've ever closed. I have it by years, by sellers, by buyers, all of that. Every password I have, it's just a whole, it's everything about my business is in Monday. So that's an organized thing. And then that way we can go back and over the year and look and say, hey, we really liked these marketing things. These went well. Let's put these back in for next year. Let's change these. So we keep a list of everything that we do. I use Slack to communicate with her, and I have a closing coordinator. So that's how we communicate, because when you have multiple things going on, lines get crossed. So we only communicate through Slack to make sure that nothing ever gets left behind. I use Sierra Interactive for my website, which personally I think my website is like the bomb. We have worked so hard on that, and it is generating business.
Yeah.
It's taken a little over 3 years, a lot of time and a lot of effort, but it is a natural, Google picked it up.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. If you type in real estate, my website comes up.
Yeah.
So we use that. Canva is about that's not free either. I do get a lot of backlash on that when I try to help new agents. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you do have to invest in your business.
Yeah.
You do. Canva Pro is probably the cheapest thing we use, and that is $12.99 a month. But we use that to help with our graphics.
Yeah.
We use MailChimp. I do a monthly newsletter, and then I have a Braves fan club that has nothing to do with real estate, but just if they want to join it. And when I have tickets that are sitting empty, I sell them for a low price. And so the email list gets the tickets first, and they can claim them. And then after a couple hours, we post it on social media to sell them.
Okay. Now I know through through your website, that's also integrated with the CRM too. Is that right? But you
Yes.
use MailChimp for.
Yeah, I use MailChimp because I was using BombBomb and doing videos.
Yeah.
But then, like, who wants to watch me and listen to me? Like, they weren't getting watched.
I thought the same thing, and then I did this, and people were like, "Hey, I saw that; it was really good." And I'm like, "Okay." I hoped it would be.
They watch my market
But I'm
update.
not sure. Yeah.
Like, my market update, they hype me up.
Market update.
I felt like that was going to be a hot mess, but it's not. I like doing the market update. It's fun. I mean, it even gets watched on YouTube, so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, people are so afraid to, and you and Casey, I'm not sure which one to give most of the blame to, but for me doing more video and doing more things, y'all have really pushed me to do that. I guess I'm appreciative and thankful for it. The people who see it may not.
They want a face with who they're working with.
Blame y'all now because like, there's this guy again making more videos and. But, I have things that I want to share, and I feel like that at least a few people out there, somebody out there is going to appreciate it and get some value out of it. But I was very hesitant to do it, and y'all really helped me do my first TikTok ever when we
Yes,
years ago.
the chick flipped the switch.
Yeah, that which if you look at it now, there's no sound anymore. Apparently, the sound was taken
know.
down, so I don't know. I'm not sure what that means. Like I just said a string of words that I read, and I don't know what they mean.
TikTok took a bunch of sounds down. I wish they didn't because we could really get our friend who edits our videos to drop that good old TikTok in, but now it doesn't work.
Yeah, so I've been going back now and taking all of these reels and things that we're doing from podcast clips and all these other things and videos that I've done because I don't want to do it all at once. I'm slowly starting to repost them in TikTok and trying to get my TikTok more active.
I used to be, that's something I'm not consistent.
TikTok's very polarizing. From a legislative government standpoint, in my other life, we've had a lot of discussions about TikTok. And I don't know that there's not a reason to be concerned about security which is why we've kind of stopped it from state agencies and state devices and different things that are tied into the government.
Yeah.
From using it from an individual standpoint, anything they can get from me on my cell phone, like that, like there's probably 200 other people that can get it too. I think that these days, feeling like you're anonymous and that your information is protected is somewhat of a farce. Like if somebody wants to get it bad enough,
They're going to get
it. But we do take precautions on that. But it's also so sticky. You get on it and it's like you can't get off.
I can't get off.
And I've even found myself guilty of that. And it's so good at knowing
what you want to watch. That For You page is for you.
It is for you.
If they could help my website, I'd sell millions.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, back on topic a little bit. I am posting.
Yeah.
Regardless of what people think about it, there's a lot of people on there, and a lot of people are now being able to ingest that content through TikTok. I'm reaching people that I didn't maybe reach before on Instagram or Facebook, and so I'm going to make a reposting those.
That's a good thing.
Your fault. So
I still repost old stuff all the time. You never know; it might come back around the second time for them.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's it's all about getting stuff out there in front of folks. But yeah, your systems are great, and I know we've talked about your website stuff and all that, and we have things here.
Yes.
That come with, you did mention those are paid services and you pay in addition to those.
I did all that before we branded with Century 21 and I had already built that. So that's the only reason I didn't. But the newer agents that have come in, I've gone through our websites and the things that come with Century 21 and they could easily do the same thing very easily.
Yeah, I think the ones we've got, they're set up to be easy to use, easy to customize. The thing with, I think, a real estate website, and with yours, I mean, they need to be somewhat dynamic. You want them to be a little bit engaging, but people aren't going to go to your website and spend hours on your website, right?
I don't know. You should see. I get an alert when people click, and it's crazy how much time that these people are spending looking at listings.
Right. Well, I meant other pages on your website.
Oh yeah, they're not reading.
Pages.
They are not reading my blogs
IDX
about
things like that. If you can get people to looking for houses through one of your systems, like I said, with ours is the same thing. You can do through our websites that come through our back end stuff with Century 21, all of our tools and things. those have search capabilities as well.
And it alerts you. It'll say like Clint Crowe's on your website.
Yeah.
He clicked 3 consecutive listings.
Yeah. I got one the other day from mine. I got a lead in where somebody clicked on something, and I'm not sure why it came to me because it wasn't my listing, and I'm usually not in the rotation, but for whatever it did, and I just sent it right along to
the agent?
Agent on call, agent on duty that day. So I'm like, but it's nice every now and then because then I know it's working.
Yes.
We get quite a few leads.
I get leads through Century 21 that just naturally come in. And I mean, I worked some referrals for Century 21 agents. I worked a couple of those, but the leads that come in are really looking to move.
Yeah, you've had some pretty good success. I know several people here, several of our folks have really worked.
I think Crystal closed the biggest one.
Yeah.
She got a good one.
Got a really good one. But then, talking about referral from agent to agent and within the network, within the Century 21 network, there's a few folks here that have really worked that and made a consistent effort to pursue that. And they've gotten...
You get good business.
You get a lot of good business. You get great referrals from other Century 21 agents.
Yes.
I've sent some myself to different places, and we've received some back from other places, and that's really a benefit. I think folks who everybody can't do everything,
right?
And so talking about your tools and your systems and your things, that is the way you do it, and it does work, and it is replicatable for other people to
Absolutely.
do that. But it's not for everybody. There's a thousand different ways to be successful.
Yes.
In the business, but I think staying organized and systematized helps you be more consistent.
Yes.
It helps you. Doing these things is great. Doing them repeatedly and regularly is even better.
And it becomes like your business almost runs itself. Once you get things flowing, it takes a lot of time. I didn't even know what the word SOP meant until I started coaching, the standard operating procedures. But I have one for everything that we do. If I get a listing, if I get a buyer, if I get a referral, it's just a checklist for a checklist for a checklist. And then my coach always tells me that you can't count on your mind. Don't say that you know it and you know what to do. Always follow the checklist. And now I do, and it makes life, it's not as stressful. It's still stressful, but I have more time with my people because it's systemized. I can get all the paperwork done.
I really appreciate you saying that because I am guilty of not doing that.
I'm not great at it still. I get in trouble by my assistant constantly if you didn't follow the checklist. I'm like, but I know what I'm doing. But that's not the point.
I think making the notes and putting it down is for years and years, I would constantly feel overwhelmingly busy.
Yes.
So overwhelmed. And then I was going through an audio book like I tend to do. And it was a time management type, not tool wise necessarily, mentality wise, how to think about things. One thing that the author said was that people sometimes feel way busier than they are because they think about the things they have to do. They constantly keep them in their mind, and it runs on a loop.
Yep.
So you may have a good bit of stuff to do, but you may feel like it's 3 times what you have to do because you keep running through the same things in your mind. And if you would just get it out of your head and write it down.
And when you check them off, it just feels so good.
Yeah, checklists, for some people, checklists are a big deal. I do better sometimes than others. I've got a new, somewhat of a system. I got this from my mother. I got a lot of good things from my mother. I got a couple of habits that weren't so great from my mother. She was a sticky note person.
Oh, I am too.
And she would write things on sticky notes, and the sticky notes would stick to each other.
Yes.
And she'd have a big pile of sticky notes, and she'd get ready to go somewhere, and she would take this pile of sticky notes and shove them in a grocery sack and take it with her. And she needed something, she'd go through and find it. And I've always found I'll find myself putting notes on sticky notes in small pieces of paper around. It's not great because I don't usually take them with me.
I don't either.
But I found a tool called Google Keep.
I love Google Keep.
Google Keep is what I have been using. You can color code them, you can categorize them, and I basically have a sticky note for every area of my life, whether it's our brokerage related or legislative related.
I use Google Keep for this.
Family related. Or hobbies of flying, whether it's related to flying, or I have a note in Google Keep for each one. I can have them all pinned. And I can go in and jot notes on each of those sticky notes and then go back and look and check them off when I'm done. Last night at 11 o'clock, I thought of something. I was like, man, I need to do this tomorrow. And I need to ask and check on this. So I sent Casey a text and I'm like, please don't respond tonight because I'm not intending for you to respond. I'm not intending for you to do this now.
It's just on my
I
mind.
don't even want to talk to you about it now. But I'm afraid if I don't send it to you now, I won't remember later.
Right.
I'm trying to be better about not doing that, but about using notes and Google Keep. And Google Keep, when I have my Google Calendar up on my Mac, on my computer, you can open Google Keep in a sidebar and have it right there.
You can do it on your email too.
Those things work together. You do it.
You can do it on your email too.
I use the Apple Mail.
Oh.
I know. Well, I mean, I'm always looking to try to improve. So,
We have got to get you back into Google.
I mean, it's Google. I use Gmail.
know.
It's a Gmail account. I love Gmail.
But the G
But the
Suite.
mail handler that I use
No.
on my MacBook and my iMac and my phone is just the default Apple Mail account.
The G Suite is where it's at.
Yeah. I mean, we all have a G Suite account.
Yeah, you pay for it.
I do.
You should use it.
Yeah, I should.
I'll show you. It's like the best ever. Like my email's here, all my to-do lists are on this side.
I'm
like
just weird about, I don't know how to sort my emails and do the things in there. And in Apple Mail, I have all of my inboxes over here with like the
Right.
I got like 7 accounts, and so
are they all Gmail?
no.
Oh, so maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
So I have
actually, I think they are. All
I have
Gmail.
all my Gmail accounts.
I have my state email account too. That's not a Gmail account, but I
Okay.
can't open it in Apple Mail either.
Okay.
Like it's an Outlook, which is its whole own challenge for me.
My G Suites are color coordinated from personal email to, well, I think I told you I started a new email address so
Yeah.
I pay for more in the because I apparently love to pay for products.
Yeah.
I have a problem, but you can see everything. It's the best. It's
Yeah.
color coordinated. It's linked to my sheets, my docs, everything.
Huh.
It's just right there.
Yeah, last thing we're going to talk about before we run out of time, consistency. So I have often been guilty of and told by people, I don't want to say accused, that's not the right word, but it has been said to me that I'm never satisfied.
Yeah.
And I'm never happy with where I'm at. And it's not necessarily true, and it goes back to the gratitude. I am very grateful.
Right.
I am very, very grateful for everything that I have and where we are, business-wise and life and everything else. But I'm also terrified that if I don't constantly do this, it's going to be that.
Yep.
You know, and I've used that example before, that to me, there's no such thing as this. And that may or may not be true in some cases. I probably don't have to be I can be grateful without being, and even be somewhat content without settling.
Right.
I know that. I know that that's possible. I don't know maybe that it's possible for me. But I have experienced in real estate that you are never there. And I've said that before in the previous episode, but I do want to reiterate it. There is no finish line.
Yeah.
We talked about the book by Simon Sinek, The Infinite Game, and it talks about there being no finish line, right? You are never there. And that is so true. And I remember 2 years ago, we were in the old office, and you were in your office, and I walked by, and we, and I don't remember exactly how the conversation
I don't either.
started. But somehow in the conversation, it came up, and you said, yeah, I'm good now. I like the level that I'm at, and I'm here, and I can just,
I can coast.
I can coast.
I got this.
And I said, Megan, there is no coasting. You need to be careful, because I don't know that that's possible. Even as automated as you were, and even as good at marketing as you were, I said, you need to be careful that you don't get complacent. Complacency is the death of somebody in this business if you get complacent.
Then I bought the house.
And you bought a house.
So then I wanted to be home more.
Yeah.
So my marketing just kept running and my ads and things. But the business stopped.
Yeah.
And it stopped. I don't think I've ever gone a month without a closing until then. And it was 3 months.
Yeah.
Zero pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rough.
I mean, I do hope that I didn't really do this. I don't feel like I came and said, I told you so.
No, you did not. No, you did not.
I don't.
I came to you and said, remember when you said, well, I have no business. I am freaking out. Thank God I have a husband who can pay the bills. But I have a bunch of marketing dollars out and all this stuff. I don't know what I've done. And I had to basically start from the ground up.
And I thought at the time that you were maybe joking, and I'm not 100% sure that you were joking. You talk about, I may just quit.
I really thought that it was over.
Because you thought I'd never be able to get back
Yeah.
to that point again. And I said, well, yes, you can. And it'll be easier than it was the first time because you've done it.
It was not as hard. Yeah.
Right.
But it also was, I don't know why. I mean, could I have not chose like the middle of COVID? Then it would have been fine to come back and like just get back into it because everyone and their mother were buying a house.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to be a dummy like after all that. So it was already really, really hard.
Yeah.
Like rates had already increased. Everything had already changed.
'Cause this was like towards the end of 2022 going into 2023.
I pulled it back to, I almost didn't have my client event. Like I truly didn't have the money.
Yeah.
But I pulled it back together. I mean, I didn't close a lot that year. That was probably my roughest year. But I had like one closing, I can't remember which house in November, that paid for my client event. And I just told Nick, I was like, I have to be consistent. Like I have to still do this. So we did. And then it came back. I will never do it again.
Yeah, it did come back, and I know that you were thinking, man, I don't want to have to go through all this again and got to get.
I was a little embarrassed.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like, there's no need to be embarrassed, but it's understandable. Look, we've all been guilty of resting.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done it with the company too. Look, I've gotten to spells where I go hard for a long time, and then you try to take a breath, man, and it's really why I try not to do it. I'm always worried because I'm always afraid if I do try to relax a little bit that it's going to just, you and I and everybody else in our bus is going to drive off a cliff, which is not a...
I live in a constant state of fear.
Me too. And it's not a healthy thing
No,
to do.
it's
and
not.
You and I talk about that. It may not be great for your happiness level, but it sure is a good motivator.
It is.
It's a great motivator.
That will not be me again. Like, I will do everything I can to keep it. I'm super grateful for my business, but I don't think I'll ever feel like I have enough. Like, if I have 10 transactions, I'm not that I'm greedy.
Yeah.
But I could do more. I serve 10 families, but I could serve 20.
Yeah.
I could do this. I could do that. I mean, it's probably a drowning cycle sometimes, but it works.
Yeah, there are a lot of people, some of the more successful people. I know a guy from my hometown who's probably the most successful person there, possibly in a pretty wide area. A lot of folks know, and there was a post the other day about the anniversary of the company he started. Mm-hmm. His daughter put it on there, and I made a comment that every time they talk about the story, he grew up on a cotton farm. His family was basically sharecroppers of a cotton farm, and he had to work there as a kid, and then he got and built this business, and it still works every day. It is worth, doesn't have to work at all. Does it every day, and every so often on the anniversary they'll kind of talk about that, and he always said that he just wasn't far away from the farm enough to be comfortable, right? He's like,
yeah,
you still work. I'm not far enough away from the farm yet, because it's that fear of going back, right? And I think once you get to a certain point, it's like you don't know how to stop because you just, even if it's not realistic, you feel like you've got to keep going.
Yes.
Look, there's a lot of things that aren't healthy, but if you find what drives you and what works for you,
and I'm still happy doing it.
If you take advantage of it,
yeah,
then I think it's okay. But yeah, I appreciate you being so willing to share that because so many people do it, and I said it to you not because of you,
right?
Because I'd seen it before and I had experienced it.
But it was for sure not going to be me.
It was for sure not going to be you.
I knew what I was doing.
I was 95% sure when I said it probably wasn't going to be you, but just in case,
it was me.
I would say it, because I had seen everybody else that had done that before. It had happened to them. I didn't really think it was going to happen to you, though. You were going to be the one that it didn't happen to.
But it got me.
But just in case, I wanted to mention it, and so I did. And then
you jinxed me. That's what happened.
I'm
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You were going to be fine.
I'm just kidding.
No, but I like, you came back and you come back with a vengeance and really just knocked it out of the park. And because of all the work you'd done before is why I knew, even when you doubted, I knew you'd be able to get back and you'd be able to get back to that point faster. Maybe not easier, but faster than you had the first time. That you could redo it. Because like I've said before, it is replicatable. You've already done it once. People say, all the time, if you have a millionaire who goes broke, they'll make $1 million again and they'll do it faster and easier. Because they've already done it. They know, first of all, how to do it, but more importantly, they know that it's possible.
Right.
Because you had done it, you knew you could do it. And knowing that you can do it is really a lot more important.
I have 3 kids at home. I've got to do it.
Just knowing that it's possible.
Yeah.
Shows you that you can. There was one more thing that I was going to bring up. Talking about how you cared about people and certain things like that. I always like to highlight people's volunteer work that we do outside areas. I talk about our folks here all the time being very giving and very involved in the community. And I know that you do several things, but I think primarily one of the biggest things that you do is you volunteer with the Haven House.
I do. I am on their board of directors now, and I love helping with the Haven House. It's a domestic violence shelter in Henry County, and we do multiple events throughout the year and try to raise money to help the shelter.
Yeah, and I know I've been able to kind of participate a little bit through you some, and the Haven House is a fantastic organization. I unfortunately got to know about the Haven House during my previous career in law enforcement because, doing that we had to interact with them some because unfortunately we had people that were in a situation that needed their help and their guidance and their support. And that was somewhat tough, but I was always thankful that those folks were there. And
they have such a heart.
They do have a heart, and they do such good, important work that most people never know about.
Right.
Most people will never know the things that they do for people because it's somewhat secretive. It's it's somewhat anonymous because people don't, they're not going to publicize
right.
Who they're helping or why they're helping them, and sometimes they can't even talk about where they are and how they're helping them and where they're helping them at because
and they stay full. So there's some nights that they have to turn people away, and it's terrible. But hopefully, more awareness and more money towards them will help them get maybe a bigger facility.
Yeah, it's sad that there's such a need for what they do. It really is heartbreaking. There's such a need for what they do for women and kids. But I'm very thankful that they are there to do that. And I'm very thankful that you volunteer your time and your talents to serve on that board. I think it's an incredibly important organization. And I'm glad that you do that, and I appreciate you doing that.
I like to give back to the community. So it's nice. And I try to help some of them once they get more stabilized. We try to help put them in houses and try to help with rentals and things once they get a job, and because they work with a caseworker and get going, and then anything that I can do to help them find a more permanent house. I try.
Well, that's having a house, owning a home is a sign of stability. It's really psychologically, it makes people feel different.
Yes.
When they own their home, it really gives them a sense of grounding and a good foundation, and really helps them, kind of go up from there. It's incredibly important. So, but I wanted to publicly say thank you for your work on that, and highlight the organization and your work with them. So anyway, I think we've probably run a little long, as you and I tend to do.
We like to talk.
We do like to talk. We do it a lot, but I am very thankful. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having
joining me today. Appreciate all your insights, and we're going to do some follow-ups down the road. We'll do more episodes, and we'll find some other stuff to talk about.
Sounds good.
Thanks. See you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all.